And with that, moving on to class and salary adjustments within the Public Works Department. Diana Langley, Public Works Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the item I have before you tonight impacts two different positions within the Public Works Department. Number one, the senior engineer. I'm looking for a 10% compensation salary increase, and then also creation or changing the Deputy Public Works Director Utilities position to Assistant Public Works Director Utilities. So first, to address the senior engineer. In this current fiscal year budget, City Council approved changing an assistant/associate engineer position to a senior engineer, and that was based upon workload within the engineering division. We went out and did a recruitment and did not find any candidates that we would hire. We did a compensation survey. The compensation survey showed that the position is 11.8% below median. And so what we're proposing tonight is to increase the salary by 10%. One of the things that the engineering division fortunately has two extremely competent, capable senior engineers that work on multi-million-dollar projects for us on a daily basis. One's working the project manager for the Fifth Street Bridge. The other one works on utilities projects and has brought in millions of dollars worth of grants. When you look at other agencies within the local area that have recruited for senior engineer recently, that includes Chico, Sacramento, West Sacramento, Grass Valley, Yuba County. So there is competition out there in terms of people trying to get senior engineers. Yuba City is not the only agency that's had trouble recruiting senior engineers. What we ended up doing with that position that we have budgeted is that we recruited at the assistant associate engineer level because we can get a pool of qualified applicants at that level. So that's how we're moving forward with that. But the recommendation before you tonight is to increase the salary engineer compensation by 10% so that we can retain the two fabulous engineers that we have today. The other item as part of the staff report, when Utilities Department was separate from the Public Works Department, at that time we had a Utilities Director, two Assistant Directors that were, one mid-manager oversaw the water treatment plant and the other one oversaw the wastewater treatment plant. With the retirement of the Utilities Director around 2009, shortly thereafter, the Assistant Public Works Director for wastewater moved on to another agency, and at that time the Assistant Public Works Director for water was vacant. When Utilities was merged with Public Works, those positions were changed to Deputy Public Works Directors. The lab manager at the time was promoted to Deputy Public Works Director Wastewater, and we did a recruitment for Deputy Public Works Director Water, hired a candidate who did not successfully pass probation. And so that position had been vacant for quite a bit of time, and so at that point we merged the positions into Deputy Public Works Director Utilities, in which that Deputy Public Works Director Wastewater shifted into that position. He has recently moved to a different position within the Public Works Department, and so currently I do not have a mid-manager overseeing the water and wastewater treatment plants. So what I'm proposing to do is change the position to Assistant Public Works Director Utilities, and I'm doing that based upon the requirements for the position. I'm asking for somebody that is an engineer or has the appropriate certifications in water and wastewater so that they have an understanding of operations and also project management. Another local agency recently went out for a very similar position. In their situation, it was Deputy Public Works Director Utilities, but the pay was equivalent to our Assistant Director. They received 8 applications that met the minimum qualifications, and of that, they felt like 3 people could fulfill the position. And so it's a limited pool of people that have the qualifications to fill this position, but it's so important when you're talking about multi-million-dollar facilities and operations to have that mid-manager position in there to oversee the day-to-day operations. So my request for you tonight is to change the Deputy Public Works Director Utilities position to Assistant Public Works Director, and also with the understanding that the Deputy Public Works Director is budgeted at the step 5, so the very top of the salary schedule. What I'm proposing is that this be budgeted at the step 3 for the Assistant Director position, That doesn't mean that we couldn't bring somebody on at step 1, in which case the fiscal impact would be even less than what's shown. But we just wanted to budget it at the middle mark so that we have a little bit of flux in case there was a really qualified applicant that came through that required that level. So with that, one more note on the senior engineer. Since both of these individuals work on projects, their costs are charged directly to projects. And with the assistant director, the increase in cost would be charged to water and wastewater, split equally. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council members? Yes, please, Mr. Harris.
Just a point of clarification, when I was reading this today, it said 10% salary increase, which is about 28,000. Is that for 2 people?
For 2 people for the entire fiscal year of 17-18.
Okay, so it's 12 months at 14,000 each.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just to clarify, Councilman Harris, that would include all the benefit roll-ups as
Right.
well. So,
Yeah, it's
okay.
fully loaded.
Just
yes.
okay, all right.
Okay, with that, I'm looking for action.
Through the mayor,
Yes.
I'd like through staff's recommendation, please.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Pass.
Well, you got 2 happy campers now, Diana.
Oh, they were already happy campers.